been practicing medicine in Iowa for more than 30 years. I specialized in newborn intensive care at Blank Children's Hospital in Vermont. As a medical provider and board chair of Planned Parenthood of the Heartland, I cannot remain quiet about the medical inaccuracies being presented and the utter disregard to uphold the integrity of the Board of Medicine. Planned Parenthood utilizes a safe and effective delivery system for medication abortion. Planned Parenthood's delivery system...
Dr. Shaw, Robert Shaw.
...expand access to health care for rural Iowa women so they wouldn't have to travel long distances to see a doctor. Telemedicine is not new. We have discussed this at great length, starting in the early 1990s. The exact same medical procedures and protocols are used whether telehealth services are employed to provide medication abortion. The patient receives the same medical attention and high quality of care. Patient satisfaction rates remain high and complication rates remain low, regardless of how the prescription is delivered. An independent study of Planned Parenthood's telemedicine delivery system shows it's not only safe and effective, but highly acceptable among women. More than 90% of the patients surveyed said they were very satisfied using telehealth communications. Another independent study found using telehealth to deliver medication abortion did not increase the overall number of abortions in Iowa. It found, in fact, more women are more likely to have an abortion before 14 weeks of pregnancy. Most importantly, there have been no complaints from the more than 3,000 women that have utilized Planned Parenthood's telehealth delivery system. Singling out this one use of telemedicine technology is poor medical practice. I will not go into more detail about that unless asked. The proposed rules in the petition are vague and unnecessary, and we have seen examples of questions asked in various interpretations regarding what is a physical exam. The rule also requires a doctor to be present when medication is provided. Through Planned Parenthood system, a doctor is always present when the medication is provided. The difference is physically handing a patient the medication or dispensing it to the patient through telehealth delivery. Physically handing a patient the medication does nothing to improve the safety or health of the woman. Most importantly, sound medical decisions are based upon a carefully weighed combination of experience and objective evidence. If a physician in this state ignored objective evidence and made medical decisions based solely upon his or her experience, the Board of Medicine would appropriately investigate and discipline that practitioner. And yet this very board took action on June 28th to promulgate restrictive rules regarding telehealth abortion without consideration of objective evidence gathered over 10 months in 2010 by a previous board from which no safety issues arose. Your own executive director called this action unprecedented. I call it unacceptable. The goal of this complaint against Planned Parenthood system is to eliminate abortion. Many anti-abortion organizations are using false medical claims and concerns to promote their agenda. As a medical provider, I'm confident Planned Parenthood's telemedicine delivery system is safe and effective. On behalf of the women of rural Iowa who need and deserve these services, I implore you, do not pass these unwarranted, unnecessary, restrictive rules.
Dr. I appreciate your impassioned comments. Does it bother you that the previous speaker, who was an OB/GYN doctor, spoke about physical exam, knowing out that topic, his feeling that the exams were not enough, and also that occasionally these exams done in the rural site while the doctor's down here have been done by perhaps a CMA or some other person with a low level of medical training, it just doesn't sound like what you're referring to as good solid medicine. Now, we're doctors, and the hallmark of medicine, the basis, is a history and physical exam. And I have CMAs in my office, I have RNs. They don't do the physical exam before I dictate treatment to a patient. Now, you've implored us, physician to physician. We just had one that brought up some very serious comments about the very basis of medicine, which is a history and physical exam. It's not being done by a doctor, and it's not standard of care. So I appreciate your passion, but we all went to medical school. History and physical to prepare you as a physician. And we have CMAs doing that. I appreciate your thoughts.
First and foremost, that all of the comments about the delivery of the protocols underestimates who's involved in the process of developing those protocols. These protocols were
Doctor,
developed...
I'm not asking about protocols. I'm asking about who does the history and physical, which involves a history and laying on of hands. All of us that have worked in medicine have seen unexpected ectopics. That's a big fear. It's not that common, but it's a disaster. Our colleague from OBGYN has talked about standards, and that's what we're charged with up here, standards. I don't want a CMA doing a history and physical. He or she may be the best person to work. They're not trained. And the people here have admitted that that occasionally happens. If it happens once, it's not standard of care. Now, I want you to comment on the history and physical, if you would.
The protocols were developed with the input and expertise of national organizations, including the American College of OBGYN. This person just commented that he could diagnose a pregnancy at 6 weeks by a physical exam. I defy any other obstetrician to make that statement.
Well, but the problem right now is I'm talking about a CMA doing a history and physical. You're kind of going around it. And doctor to doctor, do you have CMAs doing histories and physicals in your particular clinical work? I do not. You're a neonatologist, I'm a geriatrician. That's a sacred part of medicine. A history and a physical. That's sacred. And if it's not being done, that really worries me a lot.
Of course it's being done.
But by
It is
CMA,
ultimately reviewed by the physician responsible for the patient's care.
the physical, though, being reported to the physician by a CMA. Please, have you ever, in your neonatology practice, had a CMA do a history and physical on a neonate that you're proposing some medication to? If you can answer me yes or no, I'd appreciate it.
Advanced practice nurses.
No, CMA. Have you had a CMA do a history and physical on a neonate, and you have relied on his or her input to prescribe your therapy remotely? Yes or no, doctor?
Have I personally?
Have you?
This isn't about my
No,
practice.
this is about the basis of medicine, a history and physical. It's the bedrock that we all depend upon before we prescribe treatment. Have you, in your work, ever had a CMA report to you a history and physical, and then you, without putting your hands on the patient, prescribed an intervention?
So
yes
are
or no?
you taking issue with the development of the protocols?
I'm asking you a question, doctor. Have you ever had, or do you recommend, a certified medical assistant doing a history and physical, reporting to a doctor his or her findings with that level of training and medication or any procedure being prescribed? I defy you to say that you've ever done that. I've never done that, and I'll bet you a year's salary no doctor up here has ever done that.
And I would remind you that this is supposed to be a discussion of the difference between telemedicine abortion and in-person abortion.
No, this is a document. We are focused on this particular interaction between patients and the healthcare system.
And your question of me, and my response to that question, is irrelevant to this issue.
So I will write down here that you refuse to answer.
Fine.
Okay.
I'll write down that you're harassing him.
Well, I'm not harassing you. I'm asking you a question.
And your question is irrelevant to this discussion.
Do you feel it's reasonable to rely on a history and physical from a CMA, Certified Medical Assistant, which the college from Planned Parenthood has said, yes, it may be a CMA? I'm just asking, yes or no?
4:35. Let's continue in the hallway. Can we get on with the discussion of this debate?
CMA, history, physical, snark.
Well, you already have your opinion. Why do you need mine?
But you're proposing to us. We want your opinion.
It's not being ignored. It's under review, as is the requirement for a follow-up examination. The ACOG is in the process of studying the necessity of that as we speak. Why would we pass? And that is in flux. No. And the board chair. I think that would be the order and Michael
Any other questions for Dr. Shaw? Let's take a break.
Baby killers, shame on you. Baby killers, oh, what you do? You who murdered the bird, you're the scum of the earth. Baby killers, your God is saying. Baby killers, your judgment's waiting. You'll burn in hell the day you die. It's a baby, not your fetus line. Baby killers, shame on you. Baby killers, oh, what you do? You who murdered the